Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rank the Tank, and this one we are featuring tier 8 mediums with a bit of a difference. These ones all have preferential matchmaking. So what we shall do is we shall get into it and we'll rank these tanks against each other from third to first. So without further ado, at number 3 we have the Freedom, which is the American premium heavy tank, or medium tank should I say. And yeah, in this replay we are on Cliff. Now coming up you'll see the equipment and perks I run on the Freedom. So I've got the engine, advanced engine equipment set up with optics and vert stabs on this tank. And on the perks I run Born Leader, rapid reload, sixth sense, steady aim, situational awareness, snapshot, camouflage expertise, run and gun, and trap mechanics. So yeah, the Freedom is at number 3, and I have mixed feelings about the Freedom, if I'm honest. Well, not even mixed. Overall, I'm just not very keen on the Freedom. Yeah, the good points on it, it has got good view range at 390 meters. It does actually have 150 at 58% silver earn rate, as opposed to 150 like most premium tanks. Shell velocity on the premium rounds are very good. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression. You've got reload time of 8.2 seconds base. You do have spaced armour in the turret as well, and the upper plate can be quite trolly, I think. Yeah, you can bounce some shots off that. And you've got a good health pool of 1500 hit points to play with, so it's quite high up as a premium goes. On the bad points though, the turret armor is not that great. Standard penetration is quite poor, I think. You've got a 2.3 second aim time, which isn't great. 0.38 accuracy base, so it can feel a little bit derpy, a little bit troll. Obviously the mobility is extremely slow. For a medium tank it's quite slow, and that can be quite difficult to sort of get to grips with. I think we're mostly used to medium tanks that are able to sort of have good mobility and move around. And yeah, its power to weight ratio is not great, and it's got a 20% fire chance as well. So yeah, if I'm honest, it's not a fantastic medium tank, if I'm honest. And it's just, yeah, I think the mobility is the biggest problem for me. If I could sort of give it some buffs, I would probably say it needs mobility buffs, and whether that's increasing the power to weight ratio or maybe the top speed slightly a little bit more, just because I think in this current meta, when you've got such fast gameplay, tanks like the Freedom are going to struggle, and that's why I've got the engine equipment. Sort of the engine boost basically gives you 10%, I think, extra engine power, so it gives you a bit more speed and a little bit more power to weight. But yeah, it just needs a bit more, I think, to make it a little bit better, because I think the armour on this is, I mean, you get lucky bounces like that when you're sort of coming up against tier 7s, you can rely on it. But if anybody knows where to pen, they'll just go straight through the turret, because turret just doesn't really have any armour at all. So yeah, when you sort of come up against sort of equal tier 8s that are just better because they've just been sort of they're just more better engineered, I guess, or more overpowered, and your tier 9s, this is just going to get absolutely buttered up. So on this replay on Cliff then, we've not done too bad. We just got over 2.5k damage with 3 kills, but we're now getting surrounded by this Trailblazer, hoping to get a shot in, which we do, managing to put him onto a one shot and hoping to get a shot in before he gets away. But then we see this Scorpion that just slaps a shot into us. He was a one shot, so we were able to take him out, and it would kind of be great if we can get around this Trailblazer and be able to take him out. But then I see a medium on our tails. I'm just going to have to go for this light tank, because if I turn around and face that medium, the light tank's just going to come straight for me, and I'm going to be sort of caught in a crossfire. The Trailblazers are one shot, so if I can, you know, manage to get round, light them up, and be able to take them out, then I can sort of turn around and deal with that medium tank. Now I've got a broken gun at the moment, which isn't great. And we can see the Trailblazer there is moved right down into the bottom there. I think he's trying to light a few of our tanks up. We lined up a shot at him, and the gun just derps. That was probably down to our 40 gun. We've now got the medium on our tail. And to be fair, at this point we should probably just turn around and focus on the P Victoria. We managed to fix our gun, but yeah, now we're going to have to deal with this P Victoria. Now I should be able to out-trade him, but unfortunately we just trapped there, and I'm trying to get up close to you know, I don't know, just sort of block his shots as much as possible, but I'm sort of feeling like this is, yeah, basically a foregone conclusion, and we get taken out there, which isn't great. So a bit frustrating, but we do pick up 3.3k damage, and yeah, we get 4 kills out of that game. So it's just a bit unfortunate really that we sort of had a bit of a broken gun, and we sort of got caught in a crossfire. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll move on to the end of the replay where we can see the results screen and go from there. So there we go, folks, we pick up the win in the end, and you can see we did come top of the board there, even though we died early, with 4 kills, 3.3k damage, a little bit of assist, a bit of blocked as well, picking up the high caliber medal and the first class. And yeah, we shall see what tank comes up in number 2. So moving in at number 2 then, we have the Type 59. This is your Chinese premium medium tank, and yeah, we are on Ghost Town here, and as always we'll look at the equipment and the perks I run on this tank. So we have got optics, gun rammer and vert stabs for this tank, and on the perks we will be running the usual. So we have Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Situational Awareness, Snapshot, Silent Driving, Camouflage Expertise and Run and Gun. So the Type 59, the good points of it is, again, it's a 158% silver earner as opposed to 150 when most premium tanks are. You've got good mobility with 56 km/h forward speed and a power to weight ratio of 16.67. Good turret armour. It's got much better camo than, or a little bit better camo than the Freedom actually, only just, which is very bizarre since this is sort of quite lower down than the Freedom. And you've got 12% fire chance on this. Bad point on it is the HP pool compared to the Freedom isn't as much, so you're 200 less than the Freedom. Your penetration values are not good at all. The shell velocity is quite average on the premium rounds, and you've got 7 degrees of gun depression with 2.3 second aim time again, with 0.36 accuracy and 2.65 on the move, so it can be quite trolly on the move in terms of sort of accuracy. You've got 380 meters of view range, so pretty average to be fair for a medium tank. So we are on, yeah, like I say, we're on Ghost Town. We're getting some shots off in the corner here. Now, do you know what? I actually quite like the Type 59. It's, you know, I'd definitely say it's one of the better preferential medium tanks, personally, in my opinion. You do have to be careful a little bit though. One thing I will point out is I think, you know, the ammo rack can be notorious for being damaged, so do bear that in mind. Perhaps you might want to run sort of the safe stowage perk potentially. It's, you know, but I always consider that like running your sort of fire suppression equipment as a bit of a gamble, because, you know, you may not get ammo racks, you may not get set on fire. So you could run them, you know, you've got the safety of that, but then you're sort of sacrificing potentially something that you're going to be using for most of the game, like, yeah, any gun perks or camo perks or anything like that that's going to significantly help your game, as opposed to something that may or may not happen. And there you go, you see we've just had ammo rack damage, but you know, that's what happens when you sort of poke your side to, you know, 2 or 3 tanks staring at that position. Yeah, bit of a stupid move, but you know, just one of those things really where I sort of just tend to just poke and think, oh, I can get damage there, without actually sort of taking into consideration how many guns I've got focusing on position. So now I'm sort of started the game pretty poor, with only 360 hit points to play with, so I'm potentially a 1-2 shot to most tier 8 tanks, probably a 2-3 shot to tier 6s or anything like that. Now we're getting shot from the back there, but we're going to try and see if we can squeeze a shot into that T150, which we do, picking up our first kill of the game. And again, just sort of backing up into cover here and just sort of trying to play it safe and just playing this a little bit of distance. Now, it's a good thing with Ghost Town is you can play the fringes. Yeah, if you're sort of in a lightly armoured tank or a medium tank there. Now you can see the other T150, and if he backs up enough, gives us a shot, which he does, and we pick up our second kill of the game. Now we've just spotted artillery, so naturally we want to get a shot in artillery, because who doesn't? Unfortunately our shot just, I don't know where that shot went to be fair, but unfortunately we didn't manage to get that shot in. But hopefully if we line up this one, we do manage to get a shot in, picking up a little bit of damage on artillery. This game is starting to get away from us a little bit there, so now we're going to have to sort of start, squeezing these tanks in. And try and get a bit more damage out as possible. And we light up the second artillery there, so I'm going to get a shot in. We've got a bush in between us and the tier 6 artillery, which does help. I don't think that tier 6 probably has that good a view range. We loaded the HE as well, so we roll quite high, managing to take out that tier 6 artillery. Now we're going to move in, try and see if we can take out the tier 8 artillery. Just going to poke the corner slightly there. Unfortunately we hit his gun though with HE, and it doesn't take him out. Now hopefully if we just aim this right, there we go, hit the right of the turret, and we managed to fully penetrate our shot, picking up our 4th kill of the game. There's only 3 tanks left, 2 of them are focusing our artillery, and we should be able to pick up some more damage actually, because there are not many tanks on their way to contend apart from me and this cross Panther, so should be able to get a shot in. We do put a shot in the P43 there, putting him onto a 1-shot. Can we pick up the kill shot? He's behind some destructible cover. Unfortunately the cross Panther manages to get there first. Our second artillery just completely obliterates that Hellcat, which I wasn't expecting if I'm honest, but leaves 1 tank left, and who is being contested by 3 or 4 heavy tanks, and there we go, he gets taken out there, bringing an end to replay number 2 and the Type 59. So how did we get on? We picked up the win. We've got 3.2k damage with 4 kills, 564 assists, 300 damage blocked, picking up the Dimitri medal and the first class. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll move on to the 3rd and final replay and see what tank comes number 1. So at number 1 then, we have the Panther 88, our first and final preferential matchmaking medium. So this is the German preferential matchmaking medium that we've got here, and as always we will show the equipment and perks before we get into the video. So we've got optics, gun rammer and vert stabs there on this tank, and on the perks the usual, so ball and leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, steady aim, snapshot, situational awareness, armor angling, trap mechanic and clutch braking. So yeah, the Panther 88, number 1 for me. Very good medium tank, and compared to the other 2, I think the best out of the lot. I'd say Type 59, you could argue potentially gives it a run for its money, but this just very good tank. So what you've got on this is you've got high damage at 280 per shot, you've got a 1500 hit point health pool, which is nice. You've got good view range at 390 meters and mobility and forward speed of 52 kilometers per hour and at 20 going backwards. Shell velocity on the premium rounds is very good, about 1250 meters per second I think, which is quite nice to have. 1.8 second aim time, so that gun really sort of aims in quite quickly, which is good to have. You can get those shots off a little bit quicker and more accurately. We've got 8 degrees of gun depression. The turret armour is pretty decent on this as well, although it is boxy, so you do have to bear that in mind. It's got a flat face and it can get slapped a little bit easier than most. You've got 0.32 accuracy, 7.9 second reload and a power to weight ratio at 18.71, so really hits those top speeds quite quickly. The bad points on this tank is the penetration values. You've got 203 on your standard with 237 on your premium rounds. Fire chance at 20%, and you don't really have any camo on this, and you only have 150% silver potential, which isn't great when you compare it to the Freedom and the Type 59. Those tanks sort of win in that areas of earning silver. But for me, I really enjoyed this tank. It's just I don't know what it is. I think the gun just feels good. It just seems to work really well, and the mobility on it as well is lovely. I think you can sort of side scrape on this. I have actually had did do a video on this not so long back with sort of quite a few replays. I took it out for a spin and really enjoyed it, to be honest. So yeah, I just sort of had a few replays thrown together, sort of put in a video, and moving on from that, I sort of figured, well, what is it like compared to other preferential matchmake mediums at tier 8, and then just figured sort of this is the best one out of the three, just for multiple reasons. Like I say, the great mobility, you can side scrape well with it. You have got good turret armor, although like I say, you do need to be careful about sort of high penetrating tanks that may be able to sort of go through the flat faces of the turret. Very similar on all sort of German mediums and heavies alike, where sort of the turret is very square and very boxy and very susceptible to getting penned. And like I say, this can side scrape quite well as well. When you're sort of playing your city maps and things like that. You can get into those positions where you can properly side scrape and bounce the damage. Now, we're on Kasserine here, and we are sort of top tier at tier 8, which is quite decent. One thing I sort of will say about preferential matchmaking tanks is it's quite rare that you will see tier 9s. I'm not saying that you won't see any, and it's always going to be tier 8s. You might be unfortunate to get sort of 2 or 3 games in a row where you're sort of mid-tier, but majority of the times I've played this I've been top tier, and it's always been a delight. Like I say, the beauty of preferential matchmaking tanks is it can break the monotony of being absolutely whitewashed when you're sort of playing tier 8s and you're always bottom tier. If you want to play tier 8s, because if I'm honest, tier 8 is a little bit of a sweet spot in terms of the matchmaking. In terms of tiers, I think tier 8 is sort of one of the nicest or nicer tiers to play in terms of balance. So yeah, if you sort of fed up getting absolutely shafted by tier 10s, your preferential matchmaking tanks come in handy. So we're doing alright on Kasserine here. We were up to 2.7k damage. We picked up 3 kills. There's 6 tanks left, and we're predominantly going for artillery here, just because, well, easy mop up damage here, and consider we just got hit for sort of 200 hit points or so. We want to extract a little bit of revenge, so decided to come in using the mobility to sort of swing round quickly, and there we go. We've caught the M40-43 out off guard. We ran into him there. I was hoping to break his track, but didn't quite happen the way I wanted it to, and now I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Might get shotgun. I get very lucky not to get shotgun there. And we do manage to take him out for our 4th kill of the game, hoping to pick up some more damage, or at least 1 more kill potentially. We've got our tanks on the cap, so we've got about 35 seconds to try and mop up this damage, and I'm hoping that we can get there in time without being, without the team capping out. We should be able to win this game, so I'm surprised why we're capping, to be honest. And we're coming down to 20 seconds. I'm hoping that we can get a little bit more out before this game is done, and it's looking very unlikely here, but really annoying, because like I say, I was hoping to get a bit more damage out, but looks like we're going to win by cap. But then someone decides to get off the cap, which is great. Being selfish, I want to sort of get as much damage out of this game as possible, and like I say, I think 9v4, we should be able to win this game pretty comfortably, to be honest. you should never say never, because there's always the weird chance that the enemy pulls it back. But now we've got them down to 3 tanks. It should be more than likely that we get this win. Kind of hoping that artillery was going to cross there, but it doesn't. Gets taken out. Now we've the cap's now down to 1 minute. It looks like our friendly team's decided that we'd probably benefit from killing all, so that's fine by me. We will happily do that. We will, like I say, push on till the end, try and get as much damage out of this game as possible. We've got this IS-3 here, which I'm hoping we should be able to squeeze some more damage out of. We've got a friendly light tank going in, so it's being a bit of a distraction, which is good. We are one shot to an IS-3, but because it's being distracted, we can just get the shot there. He does manage to get a shot into the M42. I'm hoping I can get a shot into him before he leaves, but unfortunately we don't able to squeeze that shot in. But he is still distracted, which is great. We do get a shot into his track wheel there. Hopefully we can pick up some more track assist. Can we get another shot? We can. Are we going to get the kill shot? It's probably unlikely, but we will try. Unfortunately, artillery manages to take him out there, which just leaves this enemy light tank. And you can see that IS-3 has managed to get us 4.4k damage. And yeah, we've picked up a little bit of track assist as well, bringing us sort of total to 479 assists, which is good. Light tank is over the other side of the map, and it gets briefly taken out by our Tiger P, bringing an end to the replay. So there we go, we pick up the win there, and we come top of the board with 4 kills, 4.4k damage, just under 4.5, 479 assists. We're a little bit blocked as well, and we pick up the ace tanker and the Pascucci's and the high caliber medal. So yeah, that ends our Rank the Tank episode for this one. Like I say, Panther 88, very good tank, and highly recommended. So as always guys, if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment as well, if you sort of feel the rankings should be different and you perhaps place the Freedom or the Type 59 ahead of the Panther 88. Feel free to put your comments, and I'll get back to you on that one. And as always guys, I will catch you next time.
Uh-oh.